That's the key part of the application used when scanning your PC. And defending it from any malware or any viruses, the better the engine is, the more sort of robust it's going to be for you in terms of protection from these viruses. This software will probably, pick them up and they won't slip under the radar. So you might be thinking to yourselves, which ones are actually good? I'll give you a quick tip here. You can do a Google search and type in antivirus software and then put the year that we're in, because the viruses or softwares always get updated in the search. And then you'll get a load of links that you can choose from. Just do a little bit of due diligence and have a look. The top images that you will see on that first web page are flyers that leaders in the antivirus software, and they will show you all the prices there. So it will just give you an idea roughly of what prices are available per year. Hi, how are you doing today? Wherever you are from around the world, just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Hitesh Daudia. I help home carers create a more balanced lifestyle. And today's topic is about antiviruses. Should you install one? Should you not install one? That you should actually, be doing. And sometimes people don't know which one to pick. There's so many questions out there. I'm going to cover a few things, tips and tricks today, maybe just help you put you on your path, and maybe share some websites with you as well that might be able to help you make that decision a little bit better. I can't really give you that decision for you. You've got to make that decision for yourself. What I can do is just share what I'm using. If you want to use the same thing, then you can. If you don't, then there's plenty of other softwares out there that can help you protect yourself and your elderly parents. And even if you've got kids, stop them from going to certain websites and things like that. You can put these antivirus softwares on there. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen right now, which is good. You don't need to see me. You just need to look at the information and see how I can help you. Yeah. And if you know anyone else that you feel this might be useful for, share this link. There are a number of key factors that you should really consider when you're trying to pick out an ideal antivirus package uniquely for you. These can include whether you want to pay any money for them or you want a free version, and what type of protection do you need? Questions like how many people in the family are going to be using it, how many devices have you got that are going to be connecting to the internet. List out a few of your exact needs, and then you start looking for the software according to what you need it for. You might be a tech novice, and so all this is new to you, or you might be a tech geek where you know about all of this stuff and you want to tweak a few things in the software just to make it work better for you. So it can range from just the basic software where you pick it up. You want something antivirus just to pick up any viruses that are on there or downloaded onto your machine. And then you want to forget about it. Whereas an expert or someone who's a bit more okay with it, they'd like to tweak with the software to customize it according to their needs. And yeah, you really do want to keep your kids safe as well, depending on their age group. And then similarly, on the other side of the spectrum, you've got your elderly parents, quite vulnerable. They go onto like technology and they might go onto their Facebook or whatever. It's very innocent the way they're navigating on, but they might end up clicking on something that might pull a virus down onto their tablet, and that can affect the machine. It becomes slow, and then you're wondering, why is it slow? It's because the virus is affecting the machine in terms of its booting up time, things that you've got on there. There'll be scripts running in the background that you don't see. There's a load of things that an antivirus piece of software does, a lot of things in the background that you don't see. Obviously, you can do a scan every now and again to make sure that your computer or your tablet or whatever your device you're using is clean from any viruses. Some antivirus scams, as I like to call them, there are a lot of them out there. I'm just going to share one or two here. You could have been sent an email to say you have a virus on your PC. So what do? You've got two options. You can either ignore the email, or you can click on that link, go to that particular site, and it might say, oh, you need to download this software. Some people do, and because they're quite vulnerable, they're not clued up on the situation, and they'll download that software because someone in an email sent them to say they've got a virus on their machine, and they might not have one. But the software shows you that it's really cheap in price. So you think, oh, that's a bargain, so I'm definitely going to pay for that. It's only £10 or something like that. And so you download it, you install it onto your PC. And in fact, what you have just done there, you've installed the software as well that will act for a certain length of time, might be 3 months, 6 months. But you've also activated a script that will activate by itself over 3 or 6 months. It will slow your machine down and things like that. And then it will, you'll get a message from the same sort of scammers to say you need to upgrade to the next version of the antivirus software to help you. And really, the virus has been put on by them onto your machine because you actually download that piece of software. You need to be careful on where you download the software from, and only go to like credible buyers of antivirus software, which is important. First port of call. Just a quick tip, and I'm sure it's common sense to most people here, is to make sure that you don't click on any links that are sent to you via email from a source that you're not aware of. And also don't click on any links on a site that they've directed you to. If the site doesn't look legitimate, don't really entertain it. I wouldn't even click on the link. If I got an email from someone and I didn't know what source it was from, I wouldn't click on any links to take me somewhere else, because just clicking on a link can activate things that you don't know. And I'm not clued up on, there's millions of viruses out there and the way they're activated. I just know the ones that happen from the email when you click on the websites. So there's lots of experts out there. But I'm just bringing your awareness to this situation, and hopefully it might help you in that shape or form, sort of pick the software that you need. A question you might be asking yourself is, how do I choose the software? The first thing is you're going to want to qualify. Primary consideration is basically to ensure you get a good protection from your antivirus application, whether you're installing it on your PC, laptop, your mobile devices, which is clearly the point of installing it in the first place, is to make sure it's highly rated antivirus engine. That's the key part of the application used when scanning your PC. And defending it from any malware or any viruses, the better the engine is, the more sort of robust it's going to be for you in terms of protection from these viruses. This software will probably, pick them up and they won't slip under the radar. So you might be thinking to yourselves, which ones are actually good? I'll give you a quick tip here. You can do a Google search and type in antivirus software and then put the year that we're in, because the viruses or softwares always get updated in the search. And then you'll get a load of links that you can choose from. Just do a little bit of due diligence and have a look. The top images that you will see on that first web page are suppliers, that leaders in the antivirus software, and they will show you all the prices there. So it'll just give you an idea roughly of what prices are available per year for the software. Obviously, after the year's over, price may increase, and there's nothing you can do about that apart from maybe changing to another antivirus software if you're not happy. You can do some extra due diligence if you want to go to the geek level. You want to sort of really drill down into the antiviruses and the latest technologies. You can really double check the ratings from independent virus testing labs. AV Test and AV Comparatives, which are two websites that I'll put here, are detailed, give you good rankings on all the top antivirus performers, for Windows, for Macs, for your mobile phones. I'll leave it up there for a little bit so you can quickly write the names down. There's certain questions in the next slide that I'm going to talk about. Should you pay or should you not? And that's like a big question for a lot of people. Say, well, why should I pay for any antivirus? Because there's lots of free antivirus out there. But again, it depends on your criteria and what is that you need it for. I'm just going to go onto this slide where it gives you some questions that you might want to ask yourself to help you. So, if you've got a free product, so why would you pay for a paid product? Yeah. Well, for me, I always sort of like think to myself, okay, I've got all of this sensitive information on my machine. If someone actually gets access to that machine, how much is it going to cost me in terms of stress, time, money, trying to fix things, trying to ring up all these companies to say my information's been stolen from my computer, please block my access from, bank accounts, things like that. Most of these companies, they range from, I think, about £12 to £50 a year. Keep your information safe. Got to ask yourself, is it worth that much money? All the information on your computer, is it worth more than £12 to £50 a year? Some antiviruses are a little bit more because they have that little extra layer of protection. Obviously, like I said before, the price will go up after the year, but then it's up to you to find the different software that you think will benefit you. Here's some other questions that you should ask yourself. How many devices do I have connected to the internet at the moment? Don't forget, it could be things like, it's not just your PC or laptop. It could be tablets. It could be mobile phones, the AI assistants. Yeah. It could be a number of things that connect to the internet it could be your TV. Yeah. So you've got to add all of these things up, to see how many devices you've got. You'd be surprised. I reckon it would be close to between 5 and 10. So do you need protection for your elderly parents or your kids, to stop them from going to other sites? If they've gone to a site before, you could put it into a list so it blocks it from getting access to that site in the future. Is the software cross-platform? Basically what I mean by this is, can that software be used both on PC and Mac? Yeah, cross-platform. Are you a computer novice or tech savvy? So you got to think about, like I said before, if you're clued up and you want to tweak around with the software, then you can. If much of a novice, you just want to install the software, you want it to scan at a certain time, or you want to scan it manually, you can do it that way. You just let it do its business, and it always ticking away in the background, and you never hear from it again. Yeah, until one day and you see, oh, it scanned this many times, it caught this many viruses, and you weren't even aware of them. So, in my opinion, I would always pay for software that I think is going to save me in the long run. It's always good when you buy these Windows PCs, they always give you like Defender software on there as free, but that's only the base standard, a software can do. I'm going to show you what my software can do as a little extra feature. I'll show you that very soon. That's the main thing, is you want to make sure that the software is meeting your needs. And first of all, you've got to sit down and find out what your needs are. So how was that for information? I know this is very quick. I want to keep it very concise. I don't want to waffle on too much and then confuse, the hell out of you. It's not my idea. My idea is just to give you a quick base information, and then you can just have a look at, what it is that you may be needing. You might get my screen repetitive over so many times, but just ignore that. Just what I mean, like it's like a tunnel effect. Yeah, it's just because I'm sharing within sharing. So some softwares, they have a community. So, they might have a community where you can ask questions, because the worst thing is buying a piece of software and then nobody gets back to you for ages and you don't know what's going on. But you can always go onto forums and you can ask a question there. There might be, if I click on the English forum, there might be questions already written, and you can go into general. You might need to log in or register, and it shows you 278 discussions are going on at the moment. General discussions 149. So that's a good thing to look out for a piece of software. Is there somewhere you can communicate with other people that might have had similar problem, and maybe you can help them out? There's a little icon here. When you click on that icon, you'll actually get the software up. And you can do a scan. I'm going to click this off while we're talking and see how long it takes. You can do a scan and it will scan the whole of your machine. If there's no viruses on there, it will get done very quickly. Yeah, and it depends on the speed of your machine as well. If there are viruses on there, they'll pick it up. So that didn't take too long, and it's found no viruses. Now I can view the report. I can click on it and it'll give me how many items it scanned here. And if it found anything, it will tell me here, and it gives me the date and the time. So that's a good thing to have on the actual piece of software. The other thing is you can set up rules, as I was mentioned before, for families. You can say after a certain time, nobody can access because this virus will kick in. Nobody can access the internet. You can set at certain times, but you have to do this by logging in at the bottom here into your account. When you go into your account, you can go in there and set those things up. Then you've got some other tools here. You've got, if I click on this little arrow here, you can do a quick scan, or you can do a full scan of the computer. And that will take some time to go through your actual machine. So, you might need an hour or two to go through. And then you've got some other options to change the settings and when the last time you did a scan as well. Under the scan setting options, you can change the date and time of when you want to start the scan and then stop the scan. And if you want to control any apps, you can click on in here to you need admin rights, and it'll just come up with a message saying do you allow admin permissions. You just click yes, because you're logged into your machine. You'll be able to access that and then change that. And any websites you've denied, see those in the list there as well. And check for updates. Basically, you can always click this, and if there's any recent updates on the software, it will update. Firewall, again, that's just another layer of protection. When you're connected to the internet, it stops people from coming in to access your PC. That's always on with Windows as well. So if you've got a software on it, might want you to switch the Windows one off and then use their one. And there's no harm in doing that as well. And like if I wanted to go into my account, I can just click here and I can go into login, and it will take me into my account. And it also gives you how long you got before your account sort of expires with the subscription, and you can renew it if you want. That's the one I use, F-Secure. Those two websites that I mentioned earlier, they're pretty good websites. You do need to sort of like do diligence and research on it. So just on the border, I just want you to keep your eye out there. Yeah. The reason I like this piece of software, so anytime I go to any financial institution, so if I put in HSBC, I go to the bank, look at the border of my screen. Yeah. you got that green arrow. So it put a green border around my screen to tell me that now I'm protected. It knows automatically that I'm going to a financial institution to do something like maybe log into my bank account. That means it's an extra layer of protection. So if I click on this green tick here, if I finish with the website, I can always click end. But if I leave it, I say okay, then it will stay there until I actually click or close the tab of the website. So if I click on that, then I can click on end. And then you can see the green border disappears. I do recommend that feature is very useful. I go on to multiple websites, throughout the week. That layer of protection for me is something that I was looking for, and it was in the software. So I was like, fine, it's great. Obviously, you can do a scan and it can pick up any viruses as well. But for me, I've got peace of mind. And that's all I want when I go online. I want to know that I might still get emails sent to me to say you owe this much money from HMRC or any sort of scam email. But I don't let that bother me now, because I know that I'm not going to click on those things to go to those websites. And even if I did, a message might pop up on my screen to say this is a dodgy website, and it will warn me not to proceed. And then obviously but so far I'm all good, and I'm just sharing my knowledge with you to help you get a better understanding of it as well. So if you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box and see if I can help you. That other website was this, and the other one was this. Yeah. So if you take a note of those two, that can help you do your due diligence as well. Achieve more by doing less. Don't you think it's about time? Okay, you have a nice evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. And if you're watching this on the replay, take care, and I'll catch up with you next week.